Hi, my name is Corey Gerard, and this is Monster Wars Battles. Welcome to the exciting conclusion of Darth Vader versus Freddy Krueger. So, Lord Vader saw that his world's outer surrounds had undergone a rapid change. Then a lower level slide door is shown opening, and then a close-up shows a dark hooded Vader exiting his castle. Now Vader walks up to the glowing blue stuff that's seen on the ground. Next, this curious Sith bends down and touches a blue piece. Then he replies, "It's ice cold," as seen and heard. So Vader stands, and then the motioning quickly lifts up above him. We then see an upper view of Vader, castle, and surrounds, which appear to be covered much with the blue frost. The scene then shows a frontal view of Darth Vader as Krueger's loud voice is heard saying, "Come to my realm if you dare." Now that statement ends with Freddy's laughter. Soon after Vader hears that, a dimensional portal is shown opening on his left side. Darth Vader then walks through that portal without even the slightest hesitation, as shown doing so. But a younger, unscarred Anakin Skywalker is the one seen arriving on its other side. So Anakin now looks curious at this new alien world, and he's in an apparent 18-year-old body. Then Anakin/Vader begins to touch his face as he starts to walk through this unfamiliar neighborhood. Oh, young Skywalker is now shown wearing earthly clothes, which are a pair of blue jeans, gym shoes, t-shirt, and a thin gray jacket. Anakin then walks up to a street sign that says Elm Street, so he makes a right and then strolls down it on this quiet daytime period, while looking amazed at the structured homes. It does look a bit foggy out, and the motioning is now slower than normal speed. Now a left side view of young Anakin is shown from the other side of the street, and then a blue 57 Chevy car is seen passing by him. The scene next shows a couple of little girls skipping rope in white dresses. Anakin then approaches them as they are heard saying, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, stay up late. And 9, 10, never sleep again. Now Anakin makes a serious and surprised facial while walking by these children. Then suddenly a lightning bolt is shown striking the sky above Anakin. And then a very loud thunder is heard. Now the scene becomes more darker as Anakin sees a lightning ray strike the house, which is seen across the street from him. Anakin appears somewhat drawn to this house, so he crosses the street and walks towards it as shown doing so. We then see the home's front door slowly open, but no one is seen behind it. Anakin is now seen stopping in front of it. Then a memory suddenly grabs his mind and shows a little boy riding a tricycle bike on this home's yard. Then Anakin regains his focus and proceeds to go inside of the house as shown. So the teenage traveler arrives just left of a stairwell Then the front door is shown shutting on its own. So Anakin turns to its closing, and then Freddy Krueger's voice is heard saying, "Welcome home, Jeffrey Thompson." Now Anakin turns to where he heard that statement and sees a smiling, burnt Freddy Krueger. We then see Anakin reply, "Vile monster, what did you call me?" So Krueger rushes Anakin Skywalker and then swings his razor glove at him, but the teen avoids being sliced and quickly gets to the living room's center. Freddy next pursues Anakin in a hurry and says, "Did you think you were always called Anakin Vader, or was it Skywalker something?" Now Anakin expresses shock on his face and then jumps on Freddy. Then Krueger's hat is knocked to the ground during their standing struggle, as seen. Now both are shown wrestling with Krueger's glove of razors. Then Freddy says, "Come now, Jeff, doesn't this home seem familiar to you?" Freddy then regains control and barely slices Anakin in his left thigh. So Anakin punches Krueger in the face, and then Skywalker runs to the dining room. Freddy then picks up his hat and puts it back on his damaged head as shown doing. Now Anakin is seen by the dining room table as Freddy Krueger enters this room and charges in at Anakin. Then young Skywalker starts to throw knives at Freddy, and all the while getting away from the dream demon. Then Freddy yells, "Come here, you little runt, so I can gut you like I did before." Anakin responds by pushing Freddy into a side wall with the table, and then Krueger shows an angry expression and says, "Your parents didn't put up a good fight like you and your sister did." We then see Anakin approach the injured Krueger and say, "What are you talking about?" So Freddy quickly chops off 4 of his own fingers with a razor and says, "Well, first I killed you, little Jeff. Then I killed your sweet mother, Marge. After her, I killed your cop dad, Donald. And finally, I killed your dear little sister, Nancy." Then suddenly Anakin receives visions of the past, which show him outside at home, playing as his parents, Donald and Marge, look on him with smiles. Next, a memory shows his mother in a hospital, holding her newborn daughter, while his dad watches in a police uniform. Now the mom is heard saying, "Come closer, Jeff, and see your sister Nancy." Anakin then awakens from those memories and sees Krueger say, "Didn't the Jedi or your master teach you about past life experiences or reincarnation?" Krueger then laughs out loud as Anakin Skywalker expresses shock on his face. Then Freddy breaks that table into pieces which had him trapped and says, "But there's more to your story than that, my little victim son." We then see Freddy grab Anakin around his neck and then lifts him up into the air. Freddy next conjures 3 skull persons around the table that was previously shattered. Freddy then replies, "Jeff, look at your dead family. But there ain't much left of them now." So Anakin looks down and sees 3 skeleton figures sitting at the table. 2 of them are shown with long women hair, but the other one has short hair like a guy's. Krueger then throws Anakin into the living room with his ungloved hand. So Freddy slowly walks to a floored, traumatized teen as this nightmare menace waves his razors. Now Anakin/Jeff is shown at a knelt position with his face pointing to the ground. Jeff is then heard saying, "Don't you feel it? This place is strong with the dark side." Then Jeffrey Thompson lifts his head and shows Freddy two bright yellow eyes. Now Fred Krueger appears to be in shock as seen on his facial expression. Then the teenage Jeff/Anakin shoots force energy out of his eyes, which hits Krueger in the face as seen doing so. This energy appears to be glowing yellow, and it now spirals around Freddy's neck. So Freddy immediately runs to the door, but the front door won't open for him. Anakin then stands and walks towards a horrified Freddy Krueger as this teen's eyes glow even brighter. Then Freddy makes his way up the stairs while he tugs away at the energy cord around his neck. Now suddenly a loud thunder is heard, and then bright lightning is seen through the front door window as glowing eyes are shown slowly heading up the stairs in this darkened corridor. So Anakin arrives to the dark upstairs hallway and sees a weakened Freddy on his knees as the energy cords drain the life out of the dream menace. Jeff then grabs the light rope around a bald and badly burned villain, and then he angrily pulls the head off of Freddy Krueger's body. Next, Freddy's head and body are seen disappearing into thin air, but the energy cord still remains. Then soon after that, Jeff or Anakin's eyes turn back into their normal color. Then all of the hallway lights come on, and the victorious team proceeds to walk downstairs. Now Jeff can see that it has turned to a full sunny day because its brightness lights up the entire home. So Anakin goes to open the front door, but he hears a noise coming from near the kitchen as heard. So this long-haired teen walks to investigate that sound and replies, "Oh no, not again. Who are you? Who sent you? Was it the Emperor?" Then Anakin hears Freddy's voice, which says, "I told you there's more to your story, little Annie." Now the basement door is seen opening on its own, much like the front door did. So Anakin walks down the basement steps with caution. He next arrives to an underlooking boiler room. So the reincarnated Jeff appears curious as shown. Then this teen turns around to look back up the stairs and then sees the basement door close on its own. Now suddenly Freddy's glove of razors is seen touching Anakin's right shoulder. So the teen turns and sees a smiling and burnt-looking Krueger. Freddy then grabs Anakin by his head and says, "You're not using those eye lasers on me again," and then throws teen Anakin into a black hole that opened up in the floor. So young Skywalker is now shown inside of a surrounding darkness. Freddy's voice is then heard saying, "Now let me give you our complete history." Then suddenly a memory viewer screen and more screens are seen closing in on Anakin from all sides. Now the darkness there appears to be no more. Then one of the well-lit viewers starts to play a particular story. Krueger is now heard replying, "Watch very close because this one is mine." Then Freddy narrates with the picture and says, "A long time ago, there was only the light and darkness. Then later on, existence would come into full bloom. And then the light and dark grew more aware and powerful because of the sum total of minds which placed emotions, notions, and ideas on both of them. Anakin is now shown watching and listening to Freddy's historic description of the light and dark as seen on a viewer screen. Freddy is next heard saying, "So the light and dark eventually grew strong enough to affect the conscious sleeping mind. Then came the stuff of good dreams and nightmares. But the darkness was not content to merely shape fantasy terrors. It also wanted to make them all the more realer. So that very darkness crossed the line and fashioned itself into a fleshly manifestation which would impregnate my mother, dear old Amanda Krueger." Then Anakin is seen looking deeper at the viewer images, which now show a nun named Sister Mary Helena, or Amanda Krueger. She is now seen laying down for bed in her room, and then Amanda Krueger falls to sleep as shown doing so. Next, we see this good nun awakening in a dream where she's surrounded by dozens of men. These guys appear to be in some kind of institution. And most of these dudes appear to have crazy looks on their faces, but Amanda is shown walking calmly amongst them. Then soon after Miss Krueger arrives, the embodiment of darkness is shown materializing among more than 100 maniacs. Oh, and this offspring of darkness looks exactly like Freddy Krueger. Then suddenly a door is seen shutting, and it looks like the sister nun has been locked in the room with all of those demented crazies. Next, the men rush in on Amanda and are shown violating her, but the child of darkness is the first guy seen raping her. Now, quickly the scene returns to the real world, and Amanda is seen struggling and yelling in her bed, but she can't seem to wake up because of her strong sleeping pills. Then suddenly 3 other nuns are shown entering Amanda's room, and one of them turns on her light. So an unseen force lifts Amanda up into the air, and then her sleeping body is seen spinning around. Then the other nuns are shown grabbing their crosses and start to pray. The scene then speeds further ahead and shows a variety of newspaper front pages that says things like, "A nun was brutally raped by lunatics," "The cursed insane asylum closes down," "The Springwood slasher strikes again," and 15 children have been slain by the Springwood slasher. Anakin Skywalker seems to be in shock right now. Freddy is next heard replying, "Well, that's how it started for me, because dear old dad stuck her real good, and now it's time for your story, little Jeffrey Anakin." So stay tuned for part 3 of this story.